The hardest thing that I will do today is hit that live button. That is the hardest thing to always do, is to hit that live. Welcome back. I am starting my train with me, watch with me sessions again. I stopped doing them a few months back. Something just kind of threw off my schedule and I just didn't get back into the routine of it. And as I sit here and think about it, I think it's been more than 6 months since I've done a train with me, watch with me segment. So I'll start off by introducing myself and telling you what these sessions are all about, and then we'll get into it, all right? My name is Michelle Higbaro. I am the training director at Realty One Group Integrity out of Southern Arizona, and I am also a business coach. I help professionals with their businesses. I help them identify areas that need work. And I also give you a prescription to address those areas. I use multiple tools to do this. I'm also a Realty One Group Integrity agent. I'm a real estate agent. I help clients buy and sell real estate and invest. I'm also an investor myself, along with my husband. And I have taken the past, I've been in the real estate industry for about almost 7 years now. November, December will make 7 years when I got licensed. And I've learned a lot. I've been super lucky because the mentors that I have had these whole 7 years have never led me astray. My leadership team has always been encouraging, supportive, and never ever have they broken any promises to me. So I have to tell you that I've had an amazing time being in the real estate industry. What I am passionate about now is that now it's allowed me to step into a niche. So though I still help clients buy, sell, and invest, and I'm still an investor myself, what I do now is help real estate professionals get on top of their business, right? Identify those areas that need work, help you push through some fears with some training and some coaching. I currently have a weekly group coaching program that I do on a weekly basis with real estate agents. And what we do in that weekly call is we watch sales training videos. And though that might sound boring, it's not, because in between the segments, we talk about how to implement these things inside of our businesses. The cool thing about my coaching program also is that you don't have to be a real estate professional. You just have to be a business owner that's looking for, I want to say accountability, but not really. Like the type of business owner that will benefit from being in my coaching program is a business owner that understands what it takes to close a deal and understands that you need to magnify that action by 10 to get somewhere, right? So I understand that sometimes we meet people where they're at, but if you just want to close 2 or 3 or 4 more deals this year, I am not the coach for you, okay? If you are looking to really impact your life and impact your business and you're ready for some hard truths, then I am the coach for you. All right. So I just really want to mention that as I've been in the industry for the past 7 years, that my mentors, coaches, and trainers have been in the industry 20 years in my market. So because I spend a lot of time with them, I know this might be cliche, but I feel like I am a combination of the 5 people that I've allowed to influence me the most. And what I've learned in those past 7 years, I am 100% open to sharing with you and sharing the knowledge. There's just things that I want to expose you to that I believe will be life-changing. And I want to expose you to the things that I've exposed myself to. So with that being said, I want to give you a sneak peek into my coaching program and what I do. And then we're going to get into some training. Some of the resources that I use to train are within two platforms. As I mentioned before, I'm a Realty One Group agent here in Southern Arizona. I'm part of Realty One Group Integrity. We're also part of a bigger company called Realty One Group. Realty One Group is a national and international real estate company. We are a global brand. There are franchise opportunities with Realty One Group, and you also have an opportunity to be a real estate professional within any of our franchises. We do have offices and franchises nationally across the nation and also internationally. We just celebrated 20,000 agents as part of our network, and we are in 20 countries. Besides all that awesomeness, we are 100% commission-based brokerage. So that means that you get to keep your check. You earn it, you keep it. What I love about being a Realty One Group agent is that for me, this is the first company that has been built with an agent-first focus, which means that Realty One Group is here to be of service to the agent, to the real estate professional, to be of service to the real estate professional first. When the real estate professional has everything that they need to succeed at no additional cost, that's the magic, right? You are then in an environment where you can thrive. Thank you, Darlene. I love you. Safe travels, my queen. You are then in an environment where you can thrive. So the other part about Realty One Group that I love is that you're not compromising commission for systems and tools, right? In some brokerages, you either have all the tools you need and they're taking all your money, or you're keeping all of your money and you have no tools. This is the first company where you don't have to compromise either, okay? You get all of your commission and you also get all the tools that you need to be successful. If you want more information about that, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to chat with you, let you know where our offices are globally. And if you are in my market here in Southern Arizona and you're an agent that happens to be watching this and you are looking for something different, something new, something fresh that's going to provide you with resources and answers, especially as we go through these changes, please feel free to reach out to me, DM me, call me, text me, message me, send me a smoke signal. It does not matter, okay? I would love to talk to you about our company, and I would love to talk to you about Realty One Group Integrity here in our market and how we can help you. And that's one of my resources. I am completely obsessed with the brand. For those of you that know me, I have fallen in love with the brand so much. I want to show you two things too that I got my hands on this weekend and during our last summit. But give me a second to do that. The second resource that I have access to is this one for me was life-changing. I was introduced to a book about 5 years ago called Be Obsessed or Be Average. That book is written by Grant Cardone. For those of you that do not know who Grant Cardone is, he is a billionaire with a real estate portfolio that's incredible. But the most important thing about him to me is that he has taken his 35 years of sales experience and has archived all of that into 2 to 3 minute video training segments inside an online learning university. And the first time I was exposed to him was through the book, and I listened to this book on Audible, and it felt like I gained a new uncle, a new family member. When I listen to the book in the car, I feel like he's sitting in the passenger seat talking to me, but also calling me out on my bullshit. The one thing I learned about reading this book or listening to this book, because listening and reading are two totally different things, is that I'm full of I'm full of it. I'm full of it. I'm full of it. And I'm full of excuses. This book taught me how to call myself out on my own BS and has helped me learn accountability. It has also taught me that oh my God, I don't want to say just people are full of it, right? But it's not outward, like it's inward. Like, do you understand that you're full of it, right? Like, it's something for someone to call you out on your shit, right? Like, that's something else. That's a whole nother situation. But the day that you call yourself out on your own bullshit, that you're at a whole nother level, right? So I called myself out on my BS about 4 or 5 years ago, and it has been life-changing. What came after me reading that book was access to Cardone University. Like I mentioned before, my trainers, my leadership team, my team leader back then when I was on a team really, really, really goes above and beyond to make sure that we have everything we need. He is now part owner of the brokerage that I'm part of. This happened about 3.5, 4 years back. So I'm happy to still be with him. And I'm happy that he bought me to Realty One Group. But he's also the one that invested money into Cardone University when we were in a team environment. I found out later what the cost of this was for him as a team, getting multiple accounts with this platform for his agents. The sad part was that out of 11 or 12 of us that were on the team, only 2 or 3 of us jumped into that training every day. Only 2 or 3 of us. And I'll tell you, the ones that didn't are no longer in the industry. I'll just be blunt with you, all right? The ones that did are plugged in, and the ones that did not are not 100% active in our industry. So I say that because this is really important. So the nice thing about Cardone University is that as I've discovered this resource, I've also decided to become one of Grant's 10X business coaches. So I did that about 2 years back. And now what that allows me to do is it allows me to train, teach, sell, coach, speak, mentor on 90% of Grant's material that's out there. He has a sales execution workshop. He has a marketing execution workshop. You'll hear of these boot camps, these webinars. I am licensed to teach, sell, train in all of those spaces. And my favorite place to train that I have access to is Cardone University. This is where these 2 or 3 minute video segments are held. And my train with me watch with me sessions that I was doing every morning, it's me just kind of chatting with you about the topic of the day, and then we get to watch Cardone University together. There's over 800 pieces of training material in here that I like to jump into. And like I mentioned, once you see this platform, if you decide it's something that you want to have access to, please let me know. I am licensed and able to sell Cardone University. DM me for pricing. I'll be more than happy to answer that for you. And aside from Cardone University, I also have my weekly group coaching program. I'm going to give you a sneak peek at that and what we cover, and we'll go from there, and then we'll get into the training. The training that I want to show you today is called Negotiating and the Close. As real estate professionals right now experience these changes, we have to negotiate every step of the way, right? We've always been negotiating for our clients. As the changes have taken effect, we now know that the buyer's agent needs to negotiate for every single penny of their compensation, and also negotiate strongly for their buyer, right? When we're talking about the listing side, sellers now have more options than they did before, and the listing agent, again, still the real estate professional's job is to negotiate strongly on their client's behalf. Some of these changes are giving our clients more options, but what it's doing right now is it's putting the agent in a position where they have to go back to the basics, right? We have to go back to the basics, and we have to sharpen this sword, right? We have to sharpen the sword. So my job as a coach, my goal as a business coach, is to expose you to the information that's going to help you get this done. Okay? So when we're talking about real estate resources, a company that's going to take you to the next level because of the way that we're structured, it's called Realty One Group. Okay? Realty One Group is going to be the company, the real estate company and the real estate brokerage that has the tools, systems, and the structure. It's about the structure that's going to get you to the next level. Okay. And then I use Cardone University to sharpen the skills that are needed in regards to the business cycle and the sales cycle. Some of us are missing these steps. There's going to be some tips that I'm going to give you of, mistakes that agents make. And one of them is that we don't treat our business like a business. I will do my best to always say we. I never want to say you, right? Because these are problems and challenges that I have had, some that I still have. So I'm not excluding myself from the statement. The other mistake that real estate professionals make is that real estate professionals are always looking for a hot lead. Those are very rare. I have to be honest with you and just tell you that there's no such thing as a hot lead. The chances of somebody calling you in the morning and saying, hey, I talked to the lender, and or hey, I have cash, I'm ready to buy a house right now, let's go. That coming up out of the blue is not going to happen. Now, when you understand the times in someone's life when they will buy and sell, and you learn how to nurture and touch and follow up through that, nurture, touch, follow up through that, then you have a better opportunity of somebody calling you in the morning and saying, hey, it's time, I'm ready, let's go. Okay. But if you don't nurture someone from the first time you talk to them through up until that milestone in their life when they're ready, if you don't nurture and follow up and provide value during this period and this period, you'll lose them. Right? So my purpose is to show you how to nurture throughout, how to follow up throughout, and it is the other pieces of the business cycle. Okay. As y'all know, I was in Florida last week and I just had an incredible time. Just so many events, a grand opening, an MVP day, an expo, volunteering. I got to be with part of my Culture Collective. It was so exciting. And my takeaway that I got to come home with was this awesome piece right here. Thank you for the gift. Look how awesome. I love it. Y'all know how I feel about my coins. My coins and my pins. Right? So this one's a pin. This one has a magnet in the back. This one's like a heavy duty magnet. First of all, this pin is gigantic. When I compare it to the other pins that I have, look. Look, these are the size of the regular pins, right? Like this one, right? This one, look how big this one is, right? So thank you for my gift, ROG. I love it. Especially because this one says, I'm with the one official culture captain. Now, I have to tell you, for those of you that just don't know me, I have been crowned the Queen of Culture on a One Summit stage back in 2022. The coolest part about that experience is that Shaquille O'Neal was standing on that same stage 10 minutes before me. What? I got to take a picture with him that year too. It was like this. It was like we weren't allowed with cameras, nothing in there. We're like, hello? Yep, hi. Right? That's how the picture went with Shaquille. But anyway, all right, yeah, so I just wanted to show you this awesomeness right here, which I love. And then this one I get a lot of questions about. This one is from one of our friends in Washington. This one's from Tyson. He got these made. This is what we call a challenge coin, right? So it's his information back there. This is kind of, his version of, I wouldn't say a business card, but it does work as one. This is just a little more of a collectible. So this is a logo that Tyson designed with Realty One Group branding and with the Realty One Group vision in mind, but it resembles the military families, right? Those serving, right, with the dog tags. This one I think is like maybe a little more Air Force with the wings on it, but I just appreciate it so much that he put this together for us. And I have the shirt that goes with it, so I have been getting a lot of requests for these. So Tyson, I know you mentioned you might make another set for 2025 One Summit in Miami. So let me know and I will get those orders going for you. You have my support, all right? 100%. Okay, so I'm gonna take my video right now. I'm gonna turn it around. I don't see so well, so I'm gonna put my glasses on. I'm going to show you the coaching program real quick on my screen, and then we're going to get into some training, okay? So bear with me. Let me move my computer a little bit. Let me turn this camera around. And then let's see how I can do this, the easiest way to do this. Okay, so let me show you this coaching offer really quickly. That's going to be hard to see. All right, so really quickly, my weekly group coaching sessions are at the cost of $111 a month. What that includes is your weekly Zoom session with me, your weekly group session. You also get access to a private Facebook community, and you also get the action plan and the workbooks for each of the segments, okay? This group coaching call is held on Fridays at 9 a.m. via Zoom. Once you make your payment, you'll receive the link. And then these are the topics that we cover, right? Attitude, mindset, goals, targets, mastering objections, prospecting, the greeting, fact-finding, selection demonstration, negotiations close, objection handling, and follow-up are the most important. Other parts of that are inbound, outbound calls, internet leads, and new hire orientation. And then during the weekly call, first we discuss wins, accountability, we go into training, your takeaways for the week, which is what you're going to implement from the training. Any questions you have will be answered. And then we close it out with a weekly reading. Okay. So let's get into this training. We are going to be talking about negotiating and the close. And like I said, this training is inside of Cardone University. I'm going to introduce you to Grant. And what I like about this video is, though we are going to talk about negotiating in the close, he talks to you a little bit about him and who he is, how he has achieved the success that he has, and how we can all do the same. Okay? Let's get into it. This is a 15-minute video, this one right here.
Thanks again for being here. My name's Grant Cardone. 7 books, 13 best-selling business programs. We have 7 businesses. I came from nothing. Okay? Nothing. When I say nothing, let me explain nothing to you. Brought up by a single mother, no money, no connections, and a college degree, which came with it $40K in debt. Could not get a job. Okay, you want to make it bad now? Drug addict, 135 pounds. I weighed 170 this morning when I weighed in. I was weighing 135 pounds. I had no money, no self-esteem. My twin brother didn't want to have anything to do with me. My sisters knew they couldn't depend on me. Check this out. My mom was in the hospital. My sister, because I lived in Lake Charles where my mom was, my sister was going to call me to say, go check on mom, and didn't because she knew I probably wouldn't show up. I hated myself. People around me didn't like me. Nobody trusted me. I didn't trust myself. So if you're beat up in life, man, if you're maybe just running into me for the first time, or if you've heard, oh, Grant Cardone's, he's showing off in his plane. I have a plane today, okay? I have a fancy car. I live in a condo on the 33rd floor in Miami Beach. I overlook all of Miami. Like, I have an unbelievable life today. I got a beautiful wife, 2 beautiful kids, but it wasn't always like that with me. Okay, I've been beat up, 70 stitches put in my head and face. Everything has been hard for me. So you look at me right now and you're like, oh, the dude's got a studio, he's in there, he's talking, he's confident. Not always like this. Mm-hmm. Lost my first my 5 jobs, McDonald's. Mm-hmm. Got fired from McDonald's. Lost a job in a clothing store. Lost a job in a furniture store. Got fired from a refinery. Okay? Been thrown out of bars for getting drunk and passing out. Been beat up more times than I can tell you. The principal of my high school told my mother that I couldn't win dog catcher. So if you can relate to any of that, if you've been beat up, beat down, okay, if you don't have any money right now, if you don't have a job right now, if you're struggling, if you're getting the short end of everything, I totally understand.
Bear with me. I'm trying to remember how I would have this thing set up before. Let me take this off this tripod.
Because life is a series of negotiations. If you don't learn this, it won't matter how much money you make.
There we go.
Almost every major transaction that takes place in your life will be in negotiations. Everything you do. In life, you do not get what is fair. You do not get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate, okay? In life, you get what you negotiate, not what you deserve. Life is not fair. This is what I had to wake up to at 25 years old. I'm like, dude, I'm getting a short end at every deal.
So I'm going to stop that real quick. That's why this is so important. This negotiating piece is so important, right? As buyers, agents, I've heard it called before as the layup, right? The listing agent is the one sitting with the seller, asking for compensation for them and for the buyer's agent. When the buyer's agent's then doing the transaction, this has been known as a layup. A layup means someone did the work and you gonna finish taking the credit and you get to benefit from that. This is no longer the case in our industry. Every single agent, every single real estate professional needs to negotiate for every single penny, from compensation all the way to negotiating the close for their client. Every single penny needs to be negotiated. That is the piece of this training that is just going to get left behind, underestimated. You're going to think you can just skip by and get past this, and that is not the case. Not the case. Yeah.
Every single deal. I buy a car, I get taken advantage of. Okay? I rent a house, I get taken advantage of. Everywhere I went, I was being taken advantage of. So I had to start understanding. A man told me once, he's like, Grant, I said, man, I'm praying. I started cleaning my life up. I'm not using drugs anymore, and I'm still losing, dude. I went to college, and I'm still losing. right? I'm intelligent and I'm losing. I got people around me that are criminals and they're winning. I got guys that have bad grades and they're winning. I got guys that are dumb and they're winning. Everybody was winning around me but me. And then the guy said, look, the nice guy doesn't win, bro. Best negotiator wins. Nice guy doesn't win. Best service doesn't win. Lowest price doesn't win, whether you believe it or not. The best negotiator will be the winner. That's who wins in politics. That's who wins in business. That's who wins in the boardroom. That's who wins the negotiating table. That's who wins in debates, in audits, in the courts. The best negotiator always wins the deal. Who can tell the best story? Who can tell the best story when they're buying a house, getting a mortgage, making an investment, getting a job, hiring somebody, doing a contract, getting a pay raise, buying a car, selling a car, leasing a building, vendor contracts? In all things business, negotiating is required. Negotiating is required, by the way, by the buyer and the seller. Now, some of you know me because I've been teaching sales. We sold companies, major sales organizations, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of sales training over the years. But what you don't know is that you got to know how to negotiate as a buyer. You're going to be on one side or the other. When you're buying a house, imagine this. If I could negotiate, the average person, I think, buys 3 homes in their lifetime.
Yep.
Dumb purchase, by the way.
I'll
Imagine
explain
if you
that
could save
later.
5%, just 5% on every home purchase. The home you live in right now. In Miami, the average home is about $400,000. If I could just save 20%, I mean, I could save $400,000 if I just didn't buy it. I would save myself $20,000 3 times $60,000. What about the mortgage? Oh, by the way, this mortgage is going to be $400,000. See, a lot of people think negotiating doesn't involve them. My mom didn't know how to negotiate. So every time that she hired a landscaper to cut the grass, she thought she was going to get beat. Every time she went to the mechanic to have the car fixed, she was certain, and by the way, she was taken advantage of. So let's say I'm going to get a mortgage on this house at $380,000. I put $20,000 down. What if I could get just a half a point over 30 years, 360 months? I don't know what that would amount to. What's a half a point? 0.005 on $380,000. It's probably like $150 a month, $1,800 a year or something. $1,900. Look how fast I got there. $1,900 a year times 30. It's not $1,900. See, it's $1,900 a year times 30 years. $57,000. So I just saved $20,000, by the way, on the purchase. I saved $57,000 on the mortgage. I could afford to pay more money for the house if I knew how to negotiate the mortgage. Now, I know a little something about mortgages. I've done $500 million worth of mortgage transactions. $500 million that I have debt on. So every time I'm in a deal, I'm negotiating how to get 1/8 of a point off, 1/4 of a point off, 1/12 of a point off, anything to drop that over 30 years. What about when you make investments? Okay, a friend of mine, Dale Christensen, invested in apartments that I was with. We did a partnership where he became the sweat equity on a deal, where I hired him to be the sweat equity partnership in a real estate transaction, and I needed to put a deal together, a contract for him and me. I did that without a lawyer. That protected myself. Again, we're going back to negotiating. How are you going to negotiate a house, a car, a partnership?
Your
You're going to
compensation.
do all this stuff, okay? How are you going to negotiate a vendor that you're going to pay for? The bills around here, okay? I got to hire a guy. I want to hire an SEO company. What is the best deal for me and what is the best deal for them? How are you going to simply negotiate a pay raise? Nobody teaches you this in college. People are paying $40,000 a year to go to college, and they don't even have a course on how do I get a damn raise. Just a raise. I was making $60,000. I want to make.
There's a lot of things we don't learn, huh? In college.
I want to go from $60,000 to $66,600. How do I do that? It's called the gap, by the way. I should add that to the list. I'm not even covering the gap tonight. I have hundreds of these. You're going to buy a car, sell a car, you're going to lease the building. You know, when you lease a building, if you, some of you out there that own a business, I'd love to know how many business owners are here. Or maybe in comments,
Hi.
put what you do. Maybe you're running a business. Maybe you're working your business out of your home, and you're like, man, I got to get more square footage. I'm going to have to go lease a building. There's a thing called tenant improvements on a building. Okay? Are you going to get $5 per square foot for the improvements? Tenant improvements. Are they going to spend $5? Are you going to have a 5-year lease, a 7-year lease, or a 10-year lease? How are you going to negotiate? How do you negotiate? How do you negotiate with somebody that's doing this every single day and you're doing it once every 7 years? Right? I can make a deal right here. The difference between $5 of TI and $7 of TI, tenant improvements, is millions of dollars to that building and to making my office look better and not costing me any money. Signing a 10-year lease to a 7-year lease or a 5-year lease, dude, that's all the difference in the world. I'd like to get this down to 3 years and have some options to get a 10-year price. But again, you're like, dude, I'm not even thinking like this. I'm going to share with you the secrets of negotiating like a professional and like a master. Like, bring the buyer to zero. Or what we...
So what I want to explain to you too is that when Grant is teaching, it's business principles, right? When he first started, let me turn this around so I could talk to y'all. When he first started in sales, he was in the car industry. And, you know, I'll tell you that backstory another day. But he was in car sales and figured out how to master sales techniques. He spent about $3,000 on a training course and just really like zeroed in on that training course and started implementing what he learned in that training course. And he was, you know, breaking records in car sales before he even knew it. That car sales stigma got attached to him, not like used car salesman, but just when he started teaching and training others in sales, they were like, well, aren't you the car guy? And with him at that point, he understood that everything he applied into the car industry could be applied just into the sales industry, just in general. Right? So the principles he learned can be learned by any person that's selling, that's in charge of their own economy, that's in charge of their own commission. And then that's why now he does business training, right? Is because everything he learned in sales, he then flipped it into a business model to teach business owners how to sell in any industry. So what I do in the weekly group coaching program is we're watching similar videos to this, but I help you translate that information into real estate. And how does it apply to real estate? So when we're talking about fact finding, let's say he's talking about fact finding in the sales cycle, I teach you, all right, so what he's talking about is, for example, here is, let's say we're talking about the buyer in a real estate transaction. I, as the agent, need to know what questions to ask the buyer so that then I can fulfill their need, right? So the fact finding in the business cycle is me, for example, as an agent, asking the buyer the right questions so that then I can help them solve their problem, right? So the question could be, how many bedrooms do you need? 3, right? How many bathrooms? Then it's, let's say it's the lender asking the question. The lender does their own fact finding so that then they can see which is the best loan program that's going to suit that client. So no, again, please know that in every industry you're going through this cycle of the greeting, prospecting, fact finding, selecting, demonstration, negotiations, the close. So for example, after I'm done fact finding and I know that you need 3 bedrooms and a yard, the next part of that is selection and demonstration. So we're now going to go select some houses, and me as the agent, I'm going to show them to you, right? I'm going to demo the houses, right? I'm going to demonstrate the houses. After that, we're then going into negotiations, right? So there's steps to the process, And what I would like to do as your business coach is expose you to these steps and expose you to the training that's going to show you and help you handle these steps in detail, like granular detail. I'm going to show you how to negotiate, how to close. And I use this similar training that you're watching to show you how to do that. So I just wanted to kind of break that down. Let's go back into this video. We got about maybe 4 more minutes left on this video. Okay, y'all ready to get back into it? All right, bear with me. Okay, let's go back to play.
Call ground zero. How to bring somebody back to ground zero. The decision phenomenon. The Genghis Khan strategy. Takeaways. I'm going to show you how to use takeaways. I'm going to show you how to literally bring a guy back, sit down with him, and do what's called a role reversal. We're going to flip roles. I'm going to walk in his shoes. What's that called? Walk in another man's sandals. Okay? I'm going to share with you the pregnancy negotiation, or also called the first base strategy, and a lot more. So first, let me tell you what I'm
Pregnancy negotiation, what?
I don't know who I am. In the last 30 years, I have bought homes, I've leased cars, leased homes, I've done luxury retreats for a month in a place in Park City where they wanted $15,000 a night and negotiated that deal, okay? They wanted $450,000 and I stayed there for $125,000. I got a discount from $450,000 and $125,000. I've negotiated $1,000 recurring subscription agreements where people didn't want to sign contracts with me. I have files, like hundreds of files of people that pay me thousands, $6,000 a month, $10,000 a month on recurring subscriptions. How would you like to have that? Consulting fees, $100,000 retainers, promotional agreements that are worth millions, partnership agreements, 3 divorce settlements, all of which took less than 24 hours, 2 of which were worth millions, hundreds of millions, and more. I negotiated those divorce settlements in less than 24 hours in all 3 cases when they had been tied up with attorneys for years. I've negotiated $1 billion worth of real estate deals, sweat equity deals. I've negotiated $400 million worth of debt. Because if you get successful, and I believe you will end up in the courts. Someone will sue you for something. I have personally, professionally, and successfully negotiated 4 tax audits, 2 with the state of California and 2 with the federal government, and won them all. I know what I'm talking about, okay? I don't want to come off as cocky or arrogant or I know it all. I don't know it all. Like, there's a lot of things I don't know anything about. But when we get to this space of negotiating, I know negotiations so well. I know where I'm at in a deal. I know the timeline. I know whether time's on my side or on their side. You have to know that. Okay, first of all, tonight I'm going to be talking about the white flag. How to use the white flag. It's a surrender technique when you're negotiating. It's very, very powerful. And you will probably use it in every negotiations you're in order to start the negotiations. And also when they bog down and when it becomes emotional, you want to use the white flag. I'm going to go over all these in a second. Number 2, back to the future. I don't even know that show, okay? Back to the future. I'm going to show you how to literally bring a guy back and bring him back into the future of a deal. So where we make a deal, but I had to bring him back first. I'll show it to you in a second, okay? Number 3, the Inquisition. I'm going to share one with you tonight that I told Jared when I put it together. I said, I don't even know if I want to show people this. Like, it's so brutal. Also, I'm going to show you tonight. I'll get to all of these, by the way. I'll figure out how to do it. Number 4 and number 5 for sure. I'm going to get through this, okay? The one thing. I thought I'd change the name of that, Jared. This is called the one thing. You know, in life, you got to find that one thing. And then I'm going to show you number 5. You know, there's only one thing, right, that blows the deal? at the end of the deal. You can never say one thing that will blow a deal, but there's never more than one thing that keeps a deal from happening. It's called the one thing. You got to get to the one thing when you negotiate with people. The Inquisition, by the way, is about hard questions.
Fact finding.
The Inquisition is about hammering down to find out what the problem is. Like, you got to hammer down. I'm going to be going over a lot of hard questions tonight. I talk about hard questions a lot. It's a way to qualify, to find out, do you have the decision maker? What's the real problem? Why did they sit down with me? Why now? Why did you agree to see me, right? Like, you got to figure out how to ask hard questions in a deal. And the more sophisticated they are, the easier it is to get away with it, by the way. The less sophisticated they are, the harder this one is to pull off. It's actually contrary to people's understanding. The more advanced the negotiators in the room are, the easier it is to pull this off. The less advanced they are,
it'll seem like they're being
street
questioned.
they have, the harder that is to pull off, which is completely contrary to people's thinking. Okay? And then there's this one. This is called the selfish child. It's why your kid gets everything he wants. It's how a kid gets spoiled, actually. The kid's neurotic, dude. The kid can't see anything but his side.
Yeah.
He didn't even see anything else. He's like, hey, I'm
unreasonable and relentless.
You don't get what you want because you don't know how to play the selfish child when you negotiate.
Woo. That's some powerful stuff. Some powerful stuff. Hi, Mom. It's, yes, but, we don't use algebra ever again. The business and the negotiating and the closing, we'll use that every day. But the algebra, we don't use that at all once we get out of school. We don't even use it in school. But anyway, I hope y'all like that little sneak peek into negotiating and closing. Looks like he'll get into the material in these next few upcoming videos. Thank you for joining me today as I revamp Train With Me, Watch With Me. I'm super excited about getting this going again, especially as we go into fourth quarter. Please know that though it might seem like it's the end of the year and real estate is just like, what's going on? It's kind of turned itself on its head. Anything that you do right now in October, November, and December is the fruit you will bear in January, February, March. That means all the seeds that you plant right now will harvest in 90 days, right? So you want your 2025 to start off strong, then join me now, right? So that we can get kind of things going. We can get you into a routine. I can help you identify the areas in your business that need help. And then we'll go ahead and prescribe you with a solution, okay? I promise you that the solution is inside of these training videos, all right? So thank you for joining me on Train With Me, Watch With Me. I will see y'all tomorrow. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Darlene. Thank you, Olga, for watching. Danny for tuning in. Lisa, Sapna, always my queen. I miss you. I hope that you're good. Let me see what my mom said. How do I fit into this? Oh, listen, Mom, you're the master negotiator. You've been a business owner your whole life. I've never answered to anybody. So yeah, I would say that you have negotiations down to a mastered craft and skill for sure. Thank you, Mom. I love you. I appreciate you so much. Okay. All right. I will see y'all tomorrow. If you're interested in my weekly group coaching program, let me know. The next session is tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. I have two sessions. I have sessions on Thursdays and I have sessions on Fridays. Okay. I have one session Thursday and one session Friday. I will not open up another call at this moment during the week. Not necessary at all. Those Thursday and Friday sessions are early in the morning before you kind of get into open house mode and weekend mode and vacation mode and 3-day weekend mode. Those trainings on Thursdays and Fridays on purpose so that we're not missing it, right? Mondays get kind of tricky. Mondays people are putting out fires, not a good day for training. So make time Thursday and Friday. All right. So if you have any questions about my weekly group coaching program, let me know. I will put the link in the comments. And if you have questions that you need me to answer or need clarity, I'll be more than happy to answer those questions for you. Okay? All right. My name is Michelle Higbaro. I am the training director at Realty One Group Integrity. I am a realtor with Realty One Group Integrity, and I am also a certified business coach here to help. Let me know how I can be of service. I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.